So we're back for the 10th episode of the Dan and Ninko Show. We're actually in a different we're back. We're back, Dan. Dan is in the basement, in the dungeon, in the boiler room with Freddy Krueger. It looks like he's in Fort Knox in the security room. We have changed up the locations.
We're poor here in New Hampshire. We're not Massachusetts. We're not like you. You know, I mean,
exactly. So we are doing the show from our homes this week because we have a great interview coming up with the McCourty twins. Dan might even change locations on us because the dungeon might not be enough lighting. So we will see. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. On this episode, number one, we're going to cover the Patriots. We got to talk about the Pats. Dan, give me your evaluation of the Patriots and the state that they are in right now.
You know, the tough thing is that Cam did what he was supposed to do. I think, you know, it's very tough with calling some plays when you're averaging 5 yards a carry for 2 or 3 games in a row, and you just stop running the ball. You know, you put a lot of pressure on the defense. I think this loss is kind of squarely on McDaniels with like a little helping of the front seven. You know, not getting any pressure on Deshaun Watson. You're in a bad spot, obviously, at 4-6. I mean, that's not where you want to be. Luckily, it looked like the Dolphins lost, so you know that'll kind of help. You know, it would have been great if they won. They would have been 1 game behind the Dolphins. You know, probably would have been a lot better. But you know, you can feel good, I guess, about Cam because he was throwing the ball down the field, throwing a little bit more accuracy. Kind of feel bad. You know, it's tough when you're putting pressure on him, and he really can't make any throws. But you know, who do you think? Do you think I'm right with it being on McDaniels?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Texans were the worst ranked defense in stopping the run. So going into that matchup, especially after 32nd, so especially after beating the Ravens at home in the rain, it kind of forced them to run the football. And with that, I thought, or I figured that they would go back to that, okay, this is what we are. We are a run the football first, set up short down and distances, and then mix in play action. In this game, the first series, they score, they drive the length of the field, they score a lot of run, mixing in the play action, then they run it in for a touchdown. So I was like, all right, well, it looks like it's going to be one of those games. And then the Texans come back, score, and then the Patriots kind of went away with running the football, got back to throwing it. I thought that when the Texans sat back and tried to play coverage and didn't really rush Cam, that he was throwing the ball down the field well. And when the Texans brought pressure and they were blitzing, then it was trouble and they had a hard time. The Patriots had a hard time. So, you know, this game, this is one of them games that just really stinks because not only did you lose, but you lose, you know, Rex Burkhead for the rest of the year. You know, that's a huge loss. So hopefully they can get back in the winning column and get back to winning football, but it's not going to be easy against Arizona.
No, I mean, you know, they're gonna have a tough time against Kyler Murray. I mean, you gotta kind of admit that. I mean, everybody thinks he's like Lamar Jackson. He's not. I mean, he throws the ball a lot better than Lamar Jackson does. I mean, he's probably faster too. I mean, he's at least quicker, shiftier, and all that. Yeah. It's just weird with the Patriots. You know, you beat the Ravens, you lose the Texans. You know, you beat the Dolphins that look like a good team. You know, you go toe-to-toe with the Seahawks, and then you let down against the Broncos. You let down, you know, they played poor against the Jets. They won that game, and then obviously the big letdown against the Texans. It's, you know, they play up to the competition, it seems like, you know, so, I mean, I think they can beat the Cardinals. I'll pick them to beat the Cardinals, but I don't know. I'm really, really disappointed in the play calling on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, it just wasn't good.
Yeah. Well, also, too, defensively, you didn't see much of a pass rush. You didn't see the secondary, which is the strength of the team. You know, the Texans come into this matchup with a tackle that's down. Their guard goes down. They have a receiver. Tate goes down. They lost a good amount of people during the game, and then Will Fuller still has a big-time game. So it's just disappointing when you watch a game after the Ravens and you think to yourself, okay, well, maybe the formula is there. And then the Texans, you gotta take your hat off to them. You gotta tip the hat and say, look, they played a good football game. Deshaun Watson is a good football player. He's a guy that can move in the pocket. And I think that was some of the reasons that they weren't really rushing the quarterback. You didn't see a lot of getting up the field. You didn't see any blitzing. You saw kind of the sit back, rely on the secondary to cover. And when you do that, I mean, it's really tough with a quarterback that can throw. So I guess keep your fingers crossed. I know you're going to pick the Patriots versus Arizona. If it's raining, maybe that's what we need is like a terrible weather game. Arizona's not going to love they're not going to love the cold weather. So, we'll see. We'll see moving forward. Did you watch the Tampa game last night?
Yeah, I did. Did you?
What do you think of Tampa? What's the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Tampa, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Poorly coached.
Poorly coached. You think it's
coached?
Surely on the coach? Squarely on the coach?
I think a lot of it's on the coach. But I don't want to take any flack from you on this or anything, but I think Brady's not Brady. He's starting to hit that cliff. It seems like it's if he can't do it with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate. Would he have been able to do it with Jacoby Myers and N'Keal Harry and all that? I mean,
No.
If you took the receivers from the Buccaneers and put them on the Patriots, what's the Patriots record right now?
I don't know. Pretty good. But I
Probably
think
one loss.
the one word that comes to my mind when I think about Tampa is I think pretenders and they're not.
Yeah.
They were contenders in my head. I was thinking contenders. And then as I watch them in big time games, the games that they're supposed to win, they win. The games that really don't matter, they win. The games that really matter, the Saints last night was a big game against the Rams to really test, where they're at. They lose. So
who have they beat right now? That's a good point. I never even thought about that.
I mean, so they have lost to the Saints twice, and they have lost to the Bears, and then they just lost to the Rams. So they beat the Packers. So that was a good win. They beat the Packers. Everyone was high on them when they beat the Packers. They beat the Panthers twice. So I mean, whatever you want to think about the Panthers, they're not that great.
Beat the Broncos.
The Broncos.
The Chargers. They beat the Packers. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Giants. And then, you're right, the Panthers twice.
Yeah. So, I mean, they got to do a lot better, and everyone's high on their defense. When I watched their defense last night, I just kept seeing them get gashed and not really
it's not very good.
No, I just saw them not being the number one defense in the NFL. So in my mind, I mean, they have to do a lot in a very short amount of time for me to think that they are going to be a team that could compete for a Super Bowl. At this point right now, I don't see it.
No, they're definitely not a Super Bowl team, especially with the Saints. I mean, if the Saints are winning with Taysom Hill, when Breeze gets back, what are they going to do?
Yeah, I love that move with Taysom Hill. I feel like they did a great job. They saw talent in Taysom Hill. They used him last year. They gave him a nice 2-year, $20 million contract. So next year, he might be the starter for the Saints at a very, very, very low price for a starting quarterback. If he has a great year, then you know that you have your future quarterback there. So they've done a great job transitioning. Maybe Drew Brees. I mean, I think Drew Brees, after cracking 11, I don't know how many ribs you have in the human body, but maybe basically breaking all his ribs. I don't know how he's he probably won't play. I think he retires after this season. So, the Saints have done a good job loading that team up. I think that they're the best. Obviously, they're going to win the division. I thought that the Packers were going to be better in the NFC, but they kind of let me down this week as well. Based on my picks, Dan, you've beat me again, which I think if we should tally up the whole season. Your lucky charm is working. Your the little pot of gold that's under you right now is working.
We got to work
for you to beat me. So the one thing I want to transition real quick, because this show we talk about cars, and I love cars. I know you love cars. You have a car coming in that is a beautiful golden color, which I love. I just got a golden retriever. So if you own a golden retriever, you love gold cars. Okay.
And your favorite player is Chase Winovich.
And I like Chase Winovich. I do like Chase Winovich. He needs to beef up. I'm going to get him on the Ninko plan. We're going to have him drink 4 Budweiser heavies every night for the off season. And he will be 260 pounds of pure solid rock muscle on the edge next year. That's what I think he needs to do to be an every down player. He needs to beef up a little bit. But so
That'll be the Ninko workout plan.
That's what my dad told me to do in college. He said, Ninko. He used to call me Ninko because we're both Ninko. He said, hey, I want you to drink Budweiser. Don't do the light stuff. Drink a couple Bud Heavies, and you'll put on the weight. And it works. I'm telling you. Get you big and strong.
All right, but you want to talk about the car, right?
Yeah, I want to explain the car that's coming in tomorrow. I want to go check it out because if the market continues to do well and the vaccine comes out, I might purchase it for future investment.
So it's a 1970 Boss 302 factory car. I'm going to read you the stats of it, okay?
Do it.
191,000 Mustangs made. 46,000 of them had sport roofs. 7,000 of them came with a 302 Boss motor. 2,400 had a wide ratio 4-speed automatic transmission. 134 of them were painted bright gold, and 16 of them had the black decor bucket seats. So it's kind of a one-of-a-kind car. I mean, it's phenomenal. Still has factory overspray in it. It's got the upgraded 302 motor in it. I mean, the car is literally impeccable. And it's just one of those ultra rare Mustangs that it's cataloged how crazy it is. This car went through Barrett-Jackson about 4 years ago, and I think it sold for, if I remember right, like $115,000 or something like that through Barrett-Jackson, where this guy bought it from. We traded in. We traded in on a 2018 Yellow Demon that I'm a little queasy of getting rid of. I mean, that car's a rare car, and I probably should have kept it, but I'm kind of happy with having the Mustang right now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That exact car actually was when I was a kid. I used to have the die cast, like the small cars that had like they were real metal cars. They had the paint on them. They're supposed to be like don't touch them cars. They're supposed to be up on a shelf somewhere, but I used to like crash them and stuff. So that was I still actually have that yellow Boss 302 at my parents' house. But yeah, it's one of those cars when I was a kid. I was like, man, that's a sick car because it had the little louvers in the back, in the back window. It's a really, really cool car. I can't wait. I'm going to go check it out tomorrow. I got to go to the dealership. I got to check it out. But let's take a quick break now. Let's get into the picks, and we're going to have Dev and Jason McCourty coming up soon. So I can't wait to talk to those guys. We're going to have a would you rather couple questions there, hard-hitting questions that they probably won't answer. They'll give us the Belichick response, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned. So we are back here at the Dan and Ninko Show. I'm super excited because we don't only just have one McCourty brother. We have both of the McCourty brothers. The twins are here with us. I am excited. My guy, Dev, sat next to me every single day, had to listen to me complain. I didn't complain that much. Dev, did I complain that much?
A ton.
No. Yeah, but I made you laugh. I can guarantee.
You still owe me from coming late before a playoff game. And I never said anything. You didn't get suspended for a quarter or anything. End up winning the Super Bowl that year, partly because of me.
Hey, look at this. Look at these cleats. You will like this. These are the cleats from Arizona that we won the Arizona game in, and it still has the confetti stuck in the bottom of them. That's pretty sweet, though, right?
That's pretty cool.
And
I gave those away to charity to help somebody else out. I'm not saying
that was very generous of you. You're still playing. I'm still holding on to all my memories. Okay, as long as I can still remember them. Because if I show you my helmet, you'll realize that I hit my head a lot. So let's dive into some questions here. I'm gonna give both of you guys, because you're twins, and this is the Dan and Ninko Show, so we talk about cars a little bit. I got a couple questions. One of the questions being, when you guys turned 16, did you share a car, and what was the first car that you guys had to share?
Did we share a car? Imagine us having a car at 16. We got our first car. We were in college. We got a Ford Taurus. It was blue. We called her Pepsi. We got her. I think she was my aunt helped us get it, $5,000. So it lasted for maybe 3 years, and then it went kaput. So that was I don't even remember what year it was, but that was our first car, Ford Taurus. But yeah, 16, when Mom barely let us drive her car.
Yeah. Dan, what was your first car at 16? You had like a Ferrari or something, didn't you?
I had a Mitsubishi Eclipse that I bought from a junkyard and actually like put it together.
Eclipse. That's a girl car. Everyone knows an Eclipse is a girl car.
It's like 15.
No, it wasn't.
An Eclipse?
Well,
Oh, I thought Eclipse was a girl car. Eclipse, the convertible, definitely.
We want to go into what you did last week when you were talking about wearing your tight jeans, going to Country Fest and all that stuff.
No, but the tight jeans are in. The twins wear tight jeans, guaranteed. They wear the tight pants.
2020, I wear sweatpants every day.
I haven't put on jeans in months.
Well, we really can't go out and, the twins, they like to go out and sometimes they got to look to impress. So they got the chain on and the nice tight black shirt on, showing off the thick neck and then the tight pants. I've seen it before with the ruffles and the cuts in the knees. I've seen those pants before, guys. Come on, don't mess with me.
Who let you have a show? Hey, Dan, I have to say, though, that's an impressive wall you're sitting in front of.
Ain't it?
That is very nice.
He don't drink all that. Look at that. That's just for show.
Yeah, right.
I would hope he doesn't drink all of it. I mean,
He would need some help.
I'm like, don't into this bar. This is my bar.
My first car was a 1987 canary yellow Mustang, painted by a guy in his garage. So it was just terrible looking. My dad paid $500 for it. $500 was my first car. And I had to keep the window cracked because it had an exhaust leak. So if I stopped for too long, I felt like I was like getting asphyxiated. So I had to keep the window cracked so I didn't pass out from carbon monoxide poisoning. But that didn't last too long. My mom made him get rid of it because it was dangerous.
the Mustang, though. Can't go wrong with that.
It was a 4-cylinder Mustang, though. So it was kind
I'm sure back then you need all the help you could get to pick up any girl. So
no, hey, back then I was, I had a beard at 16, so I had the same beard. All the girls were afraid of me because they were like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm your age. I'm not 30." They thought I was 30. But then I tricked Paige into liking me. But yeah, so thanks for insulting me, guys. I really appreciate that on my show. It's been a great thing. So Dan, do you have anything off the top of your head you want to ask the twins? You got anything? You got any questions? Anything?
So I think the question we should ask is what we asked last week. What's the one thing you're looking to do when the coronavirus is basically over? Like when you get out and do whatever you want to do.
I'm going on vacation ASAP. I was talking to Deron Harmon and Kyle Van Noy. We got a group chat from last year that we still talking, and we were all talking about we got to decide where to go after the season and just get away and have some fun. Like, especially now we're in these intense protocols. So like me and Jay can't hang out. You can't do this. You can't do that. So it'll be fun to just go out and just have a good time, being on vacation, not stressing over all the things we've stressed about over the last couple months. So you'll find me somewhere on a beach. I know Ninko will laugh, but I'll be out there tanning on a beach somewhere hot.
Hey, don't put that SPF on. It's serious.
Hey, there you go. Before I make it to vacation, I just want to go out and have a nice dinner. We haven't been out, especially with the football season, just trying to be as safe as possible and protect everybody around me, the family, teammates, and the whole nine. So when everything kind of subsides a little bit more, just being able to go out on a date, have a good meal, and like Dev said, eventually be able to take off somewhere.
Where are you going to eat at?
I don't know. At this point, anywhere. I mean, just to go sit down and not have the kids running around. I mean, our date night or going out to eat would be packing the kids in the car, going to pick up food, and just eating it in the car before we got home and putting a movie on for the kids. So that's been our dates during this COVID.
Putting a movie on, wink, wink. You know what I'm saying?
The kids are in the car, Ninko.
No, I'm saying when you get home, you get your feet up and you say, "Hey, let's open some wine. Let's put a movie on. Wink, kids are asleep." Look, I mean, hey, I'm married. We're all married. We know how it goes, Brand. Hey, whatever.
That's the last time Ninko FaceTimed me, that's what he was. No, he sent me pictures. That's what he was doing. He had on one of the ugliest shirts you could wear. And he was with his wife drinking wine, having a good night.
Yep, that's right. Hey, you need to mess with Vanoy and say, "Bro, you're on vacation right now. You only got 2 sacks." You know what I'm saying? Like he needs to up his sack game. And they paid his ass a lot of money.
If I tell him that, I'll have to hear about it for like 5 minutes.
Bro, like, but for real though, like, bro, like, can you believe? Like, when you talk to Vinoy, all he says is, bro. He hits you with about 6 bros, and then he's just like, I'm like, bro, are you okay? He's like, yeah.
You guys are very similar though.
Oh, well, that's a compliment then. Except the difference is, the difference. There we go. Hey, check my SPO track. Bill didn't go out of his way to pay for the Super Bowls for me. Come on now. They got my ass on a deal every year, but hey, I'm not complaining. I'm okay. I got the Dan and Ninko Show. And
hey, Dan, does he talk about this every week?
Pretty much. It comes up every single week.
Finds his way to come up.
All right. Yeah. So another thing too, I want to know, because you guys, we all know that your genetic chain is very close. Basically, a twin is the same genetically, and then they split. Correct? That's how it goes. I'm sure you're sick of this, and you're probably like, "Shut up, Ninkovich." Superman or Batman?
Batman.
Superman.
Ooh, see, there's a difference right there. Thor or Loki, the brother?
Thor.
Both Thor? Both on Thor?
Nobody likes Loki.
Okay. I kind of like him. He's a good actor in the movie. All right.
No, Mary Kate or Ashley Olsen?
I couldn't tell you the difference.
Okay. You can't answer that because they look like they're 12. Okay. The Hulk or Wolverine?
Oh, Wolverine.
Both on Wolverine. Regeneration. I wish I had regeneration. Okay, so this one's tough. A really good pizza, like a really, really good pizza, or a really, really good burger?
Burger.
Yeah, I say burger.
Burger? Okay, yeah. I mean, that's tough. I'm from Chicago, so I know your answer on this one. You don't have to tell me because so wine or beer?
Wine. Beer's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Dev on that bougie Camus stuff. Like that's all he drinks is that expensive.
I'm not a beer guy at all.
I got a bunch of different wines in here.
We should. You got Harlan Estate?
No.
Yeah,
that sounds expensive.
It is. The one time, so funny story. Dev, you remember when we had the Super Bowl in Indianapolis? I don't like to think about it, but we had the dinner. Did you go to the dinner at
St. Elmo's?
St. Elmo's.
I was in like the room that didn't matter, not like with Tom and Wes and all those. I was in the other.
Did you know this story? I don't know if I've
with Tom then too. Was he like right next to him?
You said what?
Was Rob the fanboy like right next to Tom, like right at his hip?
No,
oh,
I don't
he always
give a shit about Tom. I wish I could hit Tom right now. Anyway, I'm kidding.
Always friends with him.
Yeah, because he gave me a watch and a Canada Goose jacket. Real nice. Okay, so anyway. We're in Indianapolis. I literally have like a Coors Light and a thing of truffle fries, and they like do the, hey, put your card in. I'm like, what are you talking about? They got like bottles of Opus One. They got like steaks. Everyone got it was like 36 grand. So they start pulling cards out, and I'm like, where the hell's my card at? Like, come on, give me my card. Come on. Comes down to the last 3 cards, and 2 people were going to pay for it. The worst 2 people you could possibly imagine lose this.
Wasn't it you and Jules?
Yes. I was so sick. I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna go play a Super Bowl for nothing right now. Awesome. I can't wait. And thank you that we had great teammates, and Tom and Wes were like, no, we're not gonna do that to you. And I said, well, thanks a lot for having $150 million in the bank, and now you can take care of this tab.
Well, you know what really happened? They first came to our room with our side of the bill. And it was all like first and second year or third year guys in there. Like really all the slaps are in there. All the big time players was in the room you were in. And we were like, nah, I'm pretty sure Tom said he was paying for all of it. And we sent our back on the other side because I think ours was like maybe $10,000 or $12,000. But we didn't have any like the fancy wines and stuff.
Must be nice. I was out there in Indy with my family. We were probably eating at Cheesecake Factory or something.
No, y'all found Bar Louie out there, the local Bar Louie. All right, so here's the next one: John Wick or The Matrix?
John Wick.
The Matrix. I never watched any of the John Wicks.
Yeah, you got to watch the John Wicks. They're very good. They're violent, very violent. Great stuff. Okay. This one's gonna be tough because we're older gentlemen here, and this is in their prime. We were right in their prime. J-Lo or Beyonce?
You can't go wrong with that. That's a bad question. Beyonce and J-Lo. I'm not.
You're going both? Oh, dang!
They're both in the league.
Okay. How about this one? This is a good one too. This is a brain twister. Would you rather be always for the rest of your life 10 minutes late or 20 minutes early in everything you do?
20 minutes early, I guess.
Early, late sometimes leads to kids, and I don't want no more of those.
Hey, I don't want them either. If anything happens, there's a small child that's going to be, given away. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Okay. So how about Brady or I'm kidding. I won't do that. Brady or Bill? Which one? I'm kidding. Don't answer that.
You can't answer that.
Don't answer that one. No, I'm not picking that one because I'm going to get a phone call like, Jesus Christ, Rob, shut the fuck up. Sorry about that, Okay, how about Winovich versus Ninkovich? Who do you want?
Ninkovich.
Yes.
Wino.
Oh, you broke my heart. I thought you guys are brothers. You're supposed to be on the same page.
He has better hair.
He does. I got him a little thin in the back. I got this flesh yarmulke. You know what's funny?
Dr. Leonard?
Yeah, I go see him. I still got. If I didn't see him, I'd look like you. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be a compliment, buddy.
You know what's funny? Anytime I see like old Patriot stuff from 2011 or 12, I'll be like, oh, Dev got the nice lineup. You got the nice. They get the straight line across, and then it started to go back a little bit and back a little. Then you started to look like Jerry Rice at the end, trying to hold on to it. And then you just said, screw it. I'm just going to go complete. So it's crazy. Like the transformation, like this is the crazy thing from when we were all young to now, right? I see you guys, I see like Slate, I see Dude, Drawn, and like y'all went from like getting lined up at the barbershop to just doing it yourselves.
A 10-minute haircut.
That's it.
Hey, but at least we're still all playing. You got your hair.
Oh, well, hey, don't make me bring out the Deshaun Watson play because I can show that for the intro.
Oh, that won't bother me. I got a lot of.
I didn't want to. I decided to not play anymore. Eventually, you guys will be there eventually. But for now,
I tried to get you to come back in 17.
I couldn't do it for the low ski. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was happy not being like all beat up, and I was happy with my decision to walk away. And on top of that, I wouldn't have wanted to go and lose to the Eagles. So that was
maybe if you were there, we would have won.
Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Now, don't you put that on me. Now, you know what's funny? When I was Josh Boyer, you all know Josh Boyer. He's the DC now. Anyone that's listening or watching, DC in Miami now. He was the DB coach back for us for a long time. And when I saw him right after the season, I saw him doing something. He goes, you know what? If you would have not retired, we'd have won the Super Bowl. I said, you know what? That's a terrible thing to say to somebody. Like, why would you bring that on me? Come on, it ain't my fault.
But that's a good compliment.
Yeah, it's a good compliment. But then maybe you should have dug a little deeper to win them Super Bowls. You might have got there. So dug a little deeper, you might have got there. But hey, you guys want one? You got one the next year. You got one the next year after that. You got one against the Rams.
You could have had 4.
I know. Y'all could have 4. Now you got 3, right? This is one thing too. Like I tell people, like when you win the first one, like when we won in 14, it was there was a 10-year stretch from 04 to 2014 where they lost in 07. We lost in 12, which really hurt. And then we win in 14. And people automatically assume because you're just with the Patriots, like, I don't know if they just don't understand time, but they're like, oh, you got a Super Bowl ring. I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Like they won in 01, 03, and 04. This is 2012. Like I didn't win 04. I wasn't even in the league yet.
Tell me about it. People assume now that I have multiple rings because Dev has 3. I'm like, nah, I only have 1. Like, it's awesome, but I wasn't there for any of the other ones.
Yeah. So, I mean, I mean, the fan base in New England, they're a little bit, 20 years of excellence. They've been a little spoiled, but I'm not complaining because they're very super fan. They love the Patriots. They love their Pats. So, I know right now during this season in particular is a little bit different. It's a little bit different trying to go into this COVID year. What has been like the hardest part of COVID, like playing in COVID, like the things that you guys have to go through? Take me through like a day. What's a regular day like?
I would say the unknown. When we started out, I would say everybody adjusted quickly to what the new normal was. Like every day you wake up, you got to go get tested before you walk in the building. Now how you're accustomed to when I was in New England, Cleveland, Tennessee, you're hungry, you literally just walk in the cafeteria, grab a plate, scoop the food out. Everything was buffet style. We're now on an app where you have to order your food. If you forget to order your food, there's no food. There's a little grab and go. So you had to kind of get accustomed to the food ordering, the spaced out in the locker room. We able to use our locker room, the visitors' locker room. So being able to space all the way out, the meeting rooms, how you knew it as, hey, squad room is right across from the locker room. Nope. Now that's across in like the Optum Lounge. And now you're using different parts of the stadium that you didn't even know existed to be able to spread out and have that 6 feet of space. So I think all of those things were kind of easily adjustable because you just had to get used to it. No different than joining a new team, figuring out, all right, where this building is, where that building is. I think for us, what was tough was when COVID actually hit us. And now you're talking about meeting virtually. You're talking about not practicing. So I would say the toughest thing this year has been kind of the unknown, not knowing what could happen next. Now we're back in the intense protocol. At some point, it could go to all virtual and you not be able to come in the building at all other than practice. Having to have your locker room up in the bubble when we were before, kind of leading into the Denver game and all of that. Those things I think have made it difficult. And I think for a lot of different guys, depending upon your circumstances, being able to see your family. For me, my wife's here, my kids are here, so I'm able to see them on a daily basis. My mom hasn't come down to any games. For some guys whose kids may be back home where they stay in the off season, not being able to have your kids maybe fly up as frequently as they usually do. So I think there's been some things that we've had to get used to, but it's no different than you two guys. Everybody's had to adjust this year.
So when I used to get ready for practice or for a game, and I know Dev would do this. Jason, I don't know if you do it, but I'm sure you do. But you go in the hot tub, you get warmed up, you get ready, you get out, you get your tape on, you get ready for practice or for the games or whatever. Can you still do like hot tub stuff, or do they like separate all that? Can nobody like get in a hot tub?
No, for practice, all that stuff is a little adjusted. Like
It's limited.
Like it's different guys going in. But, it's the NFL. So game day is game day. Like, you still have to wear your mask and stuff like that. But game day pretty much is game day, like what we've always had. They've tried to keep that the same. But the practice stuff is what's had to change. And I would say overall, for an older guy, your experience helps. But also it hurts you because you have, for J-Mac, it's 12 years. For me, it's 11. You have 11 years of routine like you like doing. And now, like, when that changes, it just annoys you. You're just like, man, like, I'm too old to now not be able to do this or not be able to, like, I count on those things to help me. So I think that's been some of the hardest adjustments is just because you've been doing something a certain way for so long, and now it has to change. Like, you don't have a choice. And I know that's been tough for me.
Yeah, and for people that are listening or watching, usually when you go get your ankles taped or you're in the training room, there's like a guy will walk in, say, hey, I'm next. And then there's like a line of people that are waiting to get their ankles taped, and they're getting their thumbs taped, wrist taped. And now that with COVID right now, is there like a system, like a schedule system? Like, hey, I get taped at like 9 o'clock and then you get taped.
A lot of stuff is appointment based. You sign up for your time for treatment. You sign up for time. So that's the way of spacing it all out. How you're used to when you're getting taped, there's a table here, here, and here. Now it's table, space, table. So all of that stuff is now scheduled out. So there's sign up sheets and all of that. So we've had to get accustomed to that, keeping that space.
And that's interesting. How about like not having preseason? How did you feel? And I know personally, I could easily have done, and once you're a veteran, you've played a long time, those games, you really don't really need 4 games. You might need 1 game for a little tune-up, but to not have any games and just go right into a regular season games with a weird training camp, did it feel any faster like the first game? Was it just like an odd feeling like, hey, we're playing a regular season game right now?
It was odd, especially because there was no fans. So not only did you not have any preseason games, now you show up to our first game and it's for real, and you come out and you're still adjusting to not having that energy that the fans bring. It would have been nice to have kind of like a dry run. And I think younger guys they were affected the most because you don't get a chance to go out there, because although it's the preseason, games are weighed differently. When you get a chance to go out there and have a dress rehearsal, and even for older guys to get back in your routine, you haven't played a game since last year, of getting back in the routine of what you do to get ready to play and the process you go through. Those tune-up games is kind of like you may go through the first preseason game, but I forgot that I usually do that, and now you go back to that. So I think it was different. Like you said, maybe the answer is not 4, but I know for you, I was a 6th-round draft pick. As late-round guys, undrafted guys, like those 4, like the 4th preseason game, I played the entire game, special teams, defense, and that's kind of where I made the team or solidified my spot on the team. So I'm never going to be a guy that's going to be in favor of saying like, hey, get rid of 2 preseason games. Like I'm always going to be for the preseason games because it gives so many guys an opportunity not only to make the team they're on, but to make teams across the league. Like you can imagine how hard it was for teams now that cut date and you're picking guys up on waivers, signing them from other teams, and you didn't get a chance to see them play at all. You're basing it all off of what they did in college. You have no idea how healthy they are, how fast they look. So I definitely think it was a different scenario not having those games.
And I think the biggest thing was just the altered training camp, because like you said, like as a veteran, like the off-season program and all of that, like me personally, like I felt fine, like coming in, not being there and doing all of that stuff in the off-season. Like I felt fine coming in. But because like training camp still started on, what was it, July, call it 23rd or 24th, and then we couldn't go in the building for 4 or 5 days. Then we had to do just strength and conditioning and running. Then we had to do this part. Then we had, so like by the time we started our actual like training camp practices, it was like, I think the 2nd week in August when you like were actually at training camp. So I think that made a big difference of like how fast that first game came from like you only wore pads like 10 days. So you don't have like 10 full padded practices before you were playing in the game. I think that was a bigger difference than even missing the off-season program. Like I think for a lot of guys, like for me, I never didn't go to the off-season program. I know you're not supposed to say it that way, but I've always went to the off-season program. And like this year, I was like, I ain't go to the off-season program. I still feel fine. So like I was like, maybe I was blown at going all these years. I could have been vacationing on my own time. But I think, not being able to just jump into training camp the end of July, full pads, let's go, let's get ready for the season. I think that really made a difference for us as players.
And a natural rest too. Like you said, as an older guy, preseason games, you think about it, you play a game on a Saturday. Friday's usually a lighter practice. The first preseason game, maybe you play 15 plays. So that's kind of like a little bit of a rest day. And then you come in on Sunday and a ton of guys played in the game. So it's a little bit of an easier day. And then Monday, you're back to training camp. As you can imagine, with no preseason games, Friday's a regular practice, Saturday's a regular practice, and Sunday. So like you don't even get that natural break of kind of breaking up the weeks of training camp. And then like Deb said, you already started behind the 8 ball. So it was kind of like go, go, go for every team to try to get in, especially a team like we had lost Tom. So we added Cam. So, and then we lost Van Noy and Jamie, Hightower, Chung opts out. You got a lot of new guys that you're trying to build that chemistry. So like we had to be out there on the practice field to get better.
What about, okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. When I was at junior college, right, we usually would have like maybe 3 people in the stands. There was nobody there at the games. But they would pump in, it was like a fake like crowd noise. And it was so terrible. Like I would just sit there and be like, can we just not play any fake like crowd noise? Because it's really like,
same thing.
when you guys are in a game and it's fake crowd noise, doesn't it feel like, are you just like, come on, we just turn this off? Like, let's just stop trying to make the crowd noise.
You don't even realize
You don't even notice it. Like my wife said that to me, like when I came home one day, like we heard like the crowd noise that they had pumped in there. And I was like, really? I was like, I don't think so. I was like, they probably just do that for you guys on the TV so that like you can hear it. And then one game I like stopped and was listening. I was like, oh no, they do have like fake cheering going on. Like
you hear all the communication. Like as defenders and you're communicating, like you literally, if you lined up at left defensive end, me and you could have a conversation about making a check on the opposite side of the field. That's
so you did trouble, Nico. You couldn't give us the I didn't hear the check. So
hey, no, you always tell me something. You wanted to have me stay outside, but I know the tackle was heavy on the inside, so I'm not getting my ass in there. So I would just jab him and stay out, or jab him off and go in, and then I hang you out to dry. But if I make the play, it's all good. And if I would have missed, I maybe missed a few, but I made more than I missed. Okay?
I would definitely give you that. I never had a problem with you on my side because I was going to react off you. But we still have the Ninko rules. When you're the safety and you make a force call, you still have to read what the DN does, a.k.a. the Ninko rules.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'll tell you a funny story. We're playing Denver at home. The tackle was there was about a 6-inch split on the guard and the tackle. The tackle looked at me and I could basically tell that he was not going to let me get inside the B gap. I knew that for a fact. So Hightower gave me a rip call. And what a rip call is, he wants me to get in the B gap. Well, come on. You want me to go in there, Hightower? The guy's not going to let me in there. I'm just going to give myself up so you can get around the corner. Maybe not get a sack. He's not, High's a great player, but I was like, screw this. I'm going to jab him. I jabbed him, got outside, sack, fumble on the quarterback. Peyton Manning was doing his old man shake and then fumbled. But that's the one thing you got to do. At the end of the day, if I was ever coaching, players got to play. Less is more. Speed, react, make a play. And if you mess up, okay, I might yell at you. But if you make them more than you miss them, I don't have a problem with that. And that's kind of how I live. That's how I live. Come on now.
You need more talented guys then. You're the big, let's just be simple guy. You better go get talent.
Hey, I'll find them. I'll find talent because what I want guys that are aggressive. If I'm playing a defense what is defense based on? It's you're reacting to what the offense shows you. I understand there's a time and a place for being very smart and technical and game planning. Like, I love that. That's all part of the game. You're supposed to do that. But when you start to become too robotic, that's when you slow down and you're not really playing to your best abilities. But I felt that I had a good balance. I mean, I'd go up to Bill and I'd say, hey, Bill, on this rush, I think I'm going to try and get a little bit deeper. And he'd just look at me like, well, so like if you're not going to get behind the quarterback, right? And I'd say, yeah, I'm not going to be behind the quarterback, I promise. And I might be behind the quarterback for a split second, but then I'd dip on that corner and I'd get around that thing just so he didn't get him off the field on me because he's done that before too. But anyway, back to the current season that we're in right now. It's a weird season. It's odd with the COVID stuff. Everyone's dealing with it. The Dan and Ninko Show, we've had to change things up because we can't do the cool adventures. We were going to do a couple things. I got attacked by a dog. Would you guys get attacked by a dog?
No.
No, especially not because Dan showed us some of those videos. No stop.
Yeah, but you put a thing on. It's like a thing, and then they bite.
I know. And he also showed us that, the dog's bite is pretty strong.
Yeah, I had a couple of bruises. I had like 4. I had fang marks. We also did the racetrack down the street, because Dan, obviously owning car dealerships and, being an entrepreneur, we think that he'd be a great racer. I beat him by like 4 seconds on that whole track down the street on Route 1, the supercharged.
After you completely T-boned me into a wall and I couldn't get out of it.
Hey, Rubbin's racing, baby. Rubbin's racing. Rubbin is racing. And then I'm trying to get to Southwick Zoo. A friend of mine runs Southwick Zoo. It's the biggest privately owned zoo. We're going to go there. There's crazy things you can do at a zoo. I'm telling you, there's tigers, there's freaking rhinos. Would you feed a tiger out of your hand?
Oh, no.
I won't either. I won't do that either. But we're going to do some things. There's a guy out there rolling. He's my good friend. It'll be exciting. But listen, I want to thank you guys for coming on. It was really great. I'll let you get back to enjoying your Tuesday, which is everyone's day off in the NFL is Tuesday. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. You're my guys. You know, Jason, I didn't play with Jason, but because you guys are so close, I feel like I know Jason. That's the first thing we said to each other when we met. I'm like, for some reason, I feel like I know you, you know, because Dev used to sit next to me. And Dev brought up a great story about me being late for the only time I was ever late. I'll let you guys go on this note. So what happened to me? They were playing the Ravens. It was in the playoffs. For some crazy reason, my alarm didn't go off. And in my whole career, I had never been late for a meeting. Never been late. I look at my clock, and it was like 2 minutes past 8, and it was an 8 o'clock squad. So I jump out of bed. My wife goes, "Oh, my goodness, you're late." And I was like, I'm late. What am I going to do? So I speed over. I get in the building. And sometimes Bill could either go on a 5-minute quick talk. All right, guys, let's break up. And go into, like, you break up, you move, and then they kind of notice, or they could wait for somebody because there's nobody there. Well, in this particular day, he got into like an hour-long breakdown. And sometimes those hour-long breakdowns, either number one, if you have to pee at about 5 minutes in, you're in trouble because you can't get up, because once he's in the zone, he's in the zone. So he was on this big talk. I put my ear up to the door. I put my ear up to the door. I heard him speaking. I was like, okay, he's talking. So I opened the door as slow as possible, like just as slow as, because the light, you don't want the light to come in and show that the door's opening. So I opened it up. Matty P used to sit at the back of the room on the floor, and he would always be doing like something in his workbook, like for the day and like notes. So I open the door and he sees me. We make eye contact and he goes, so I crawl in like on my hands and knees. I crawl in like army style. I get up next to Matty P. I sit right next to him as low as I possibly can. Bill finished his talk, whatever he was doing, flipped his lights on. He saw me sitting there, didn't think twice because he was probably like, oh, Ninkovich he's never been late. Like, didn't say a word. Bears didn't know. Bill didn't know. Nobody knew. Dev knew. Matty P knew. So me and Matty are pretty close. And I go, Matt, like, he didn't know. Should I tell him? Should I tell him that I was late? And he was like, he kind of didn't give me an answer. He was like, oh, whatever you think you should do. Like, it was one of those, like, well, what do you think you should do? So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go out here and have a great practice, number one. So I went out, we had a great practice. After practice, I walked up to Bill. I said, hey, Bill, just want to let you know, I snuck in the back door. I was late for meetings today. And he looked at me, he goes, Jesus, well, let's fucking not make a habit of that. That's what he said to me. Let's not make it a habit of that. So that was it. I didn't get fined. I didn't get suspended. I didn't miss a half of football, probably because it was the Ravens and they needed me to set the edge, much like Deb does right now. But, hey, that's the end of the story. End of the story. So, hey, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. We're going to continue here on the Dan and Ninko Show. Dan, do you have anything to say?
No, I think I'm good. I think you let it all off. I don't think my connection's too good.
Perfect. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks so much.
Appreciate you having us.
See ya.
All right, fellas.
Have fun.
All right. Sweet, guys. Thanks for coming on. All right, we're back at the Dan and Ninko Show. We're both in our basement. Dan is in the scarier basement. Freddy Krueger's right behind him. Me, myself, I just have memorabilia. New Hampshire basement. So, yeah there's there's a shelter in there, probably for doomsday shelter built in that basement. I can feel it. I have a sense of it with the amount of wires that are behind you. I don't know if you have Google in your home or some type of high-speed internet that has to get all the way over to China, but that seems like a very powerful system.
Yeah, every switch in this house, like light switch and all that's on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's all Wi-Fi. So when someone hacks into your home, they're gonna lock your doors for you and not let you out. But anyway,
let's get to where I beat you every single week now. It seems like.
I don't think that's true, Dan. I don't think that's true. But let's get into these picks. I'm feeling great about my picks this week. Let's dive into these suckers.
All right. So first ones are Thanksgiving games. Texans Lions.
I'm going Texans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texans too. I think this is Patricia's last stand this game. Football team Cowboys.
I'm going with the Cowboys.
I'm gonna go Cowboys too. Red Rifle, he's back. Ravens Steelers.
Ooh,
that's a good one. I don't know if it's gonna be played though. Might not be played.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens in this matchup. I think it's gonna be the first Steelers loss.
I'm gonna go Steelers on this one. I think the Steelers beat the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens are that good. All right, we go Raiders Falcons.
I am going with the Raiders. I like Carr. He seems to have turned a corner a little bit this year.
Is it just me, or does Carr wear mascara during the game?
He 100% wears makeup. He wears makeup in his off time.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go Raiders on that one too. We're pretty much the same except for the Steelers game. Chargers Bills.
I'm going Chargers.
Wow. I actually like that pick, but I'm going to go Chargers.
All right, go Chargers. Come with me. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Giants Bengals.
I'm going Giants.
I'm going to go Giants too with no bar.
The Bengals are probably defeated. Their franchise quarterback is laid up.
For every ligament.
It's bad.
All right, big game. Titans Colts.
Titans.
I'm going to go Colts on this one.
Okay.
Panthers Vikings.
Doesn't matter, but I'll go Panthers.
I'm gonna go I'll go Panthers too. Dolphins Jets.
Dolphins.
Ugh. Browns Jaguars.
Doesn't matter, but I'll go Browns.
Browns are 7-3.
Yeah, but they suck. They're not gonna be good.
Yeah. Saints Broncos.
Saints all the way.
Yeah, Saints. 49ers Rams.
I like the Rams. They've definitely improved. I think you watched the Tampa game last night. They put a whooping on Tampa, so I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rams too. Chiefs Buccaneers. Oh boy.
Bucks are in trouble, man. I'm going KC.
Well, does that pain you?
It does. I can't stay with them now. I can't do it. It pains me to say that, but I just don't believe that they can do it.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs also. Your hometown Bears versus the Packers.
I'm gonna go Packers on this one there, Bob.
Yeah, Packers. Bears stink.
Yeah.
Seahawks Eagles.
Give me the Seahawks.
Seahawks. Cardinals Patriots.
Hold on.
I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna look at the weather report.
Pats at home. If it's cold and I hope it's wet. If it's wet, I think the Pats are going to win this one. How can they lose? Come on.
Sunday is sunny and 50 degrees.
Pats, but Arizona's going to make it a game.
I'm going to go Patriots too. They just play up. It seems like they just play up to the competition. I mean, they're playing down to all these teams that aren't that good. But I think
I agree.
Yeah. So. This will probably be another win for me this week.
I don't think so. I have a good feeling about my picks. The picks that are not the ones that you have picked, I think we're going to win those games.
There's not many. It's the Ravens-Steelers game. The Titans-Colts game. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be a good adventure there. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to probably cook at home. I'll just do something here with the kids. We'll do, the puppy. We got the puppy running around. My wife was literally just running back and forth outside. I should have turned my computer so you could see how funny it looked because the dog was chasing her. And she really, really hates taking the dog outside, especially when it's 40 degrees and getting colder. So I'm a little bit in the doghouse right now. The puppy's coming along. Little Winovich is coming along.
Why in the doghouse?
Because I got the dog in the first place. Like that was a Rob. Please, I don't want a dog right now, and I just did it anyway. So, for anyone listening,
where would the Mustang put you at? If you got the land, Mustang, and the dog.
Nobody will know about the Mustang. It goes right in the garage. Nobody knows. I mean, my wife will just say, "There's something wrong with you. You have a problem." But then I can respond with, "This is a great car. It's a great purchase. It should hold its value, yada, yada, yada." So, I mean, it's an old car. You can't lose on an old car. You can, like the guy that lost on it because he bought it at auction.
Yeah, but I mean, he could have brought it back to the auction and probably got his money back out of it. You know,
it's just like there's like it's like a circular thing. Like 4 years ago, muscle cars were bringing all the money. Now, like the European, the BMW, the Ferraris, like all those 80s, like the kids, not millennials, but like guys that are in their 30s and 40s that are getting a little bit of money. They don't want to buy the 60s cars or the 70s cars. They want the 80s car.
Yeah, it's like the stock market. You know, you buy a certain stock in a certain car, and you just got to hold it until it hits a point and then sell it.
Well, they don't make them anymore.
That, you know, they're not going to make another 1970, gold Boss 302 Mustang. They're just not going to make it.
It's funny that I had said to you that I really love a 54 Buick Skylark.
Yep.
The 53, 54 Buick Skylark convertibles are like so beautiful. They have like these swooping lines. They have a great grille. They have like a teardrop front light. I would personally drop some money on that to get it, but it's just a little bit above where I feel comfortable because those cars
under six figures.
Yeah. The 150, like that gets to a point,
like
because
99 grand's okay, but 101's not.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at because I feel like once a car gets to about 100 or 50, all the crazy numbers, then you got to worry about like just driving it and something happening because it's not like you can go get something replaced on that car on a 1954. So you got to be really careful what you do with it. You only take it out occasionally, but I want something that you can drive. That's not like if something, I'm not saying if anything can happen to anybody, but just those cars that get above a certain level, you're like, don't touch it, please. Don't go buy it. But a red,
you be able to drive the Mustang?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what it looks like. If it looks as clean as it does in the photos, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to go look at it tomorrow. But what about yourself? What do you guys got going on for Thanksgiving?
We're just probably hanging out at the house and everything. Some food, drinks, a couple beers. What kind of beer are you gonna have?
Ooh, Castle Island. That's my favorite beer.
You're into that now.
Dude, it's so good. It's a hazy India Pale Ale. I'm really into it right now. I'm actually gonna go pick up some more because I feel like the liquor stores are probably gonna be nuts.
What's the one that I told you to get? It's called High Def by them. It's like 9% alcohol per volume.
High Def.
Castle Island High Def.
High.
Put it on the grocery list.
High Def. There it is. It's on the list.
Yeah, High Def is good. Or some hazy boom sauce.
Hazy boom. I'm gonna go get some right now, actually. Hazy boom sauce. So I really hope everyone has a terrific Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I know we have a lot to be thankful for. I know that I do personally. Dan, I know that you're a very blessed man as well. So everyone out there, anyone that's listening, everyone that's watching, have a great Thanksgiving. Happy to have the things that we all have and very thankful. So thanks so much, Dan. This was a great show. I know it was a little bit different because you were down there with Freddy Krueger. Don't go to sleep tonight. I feel scary.
No more Zoom things. Only in the studio now.
So what we're going to do from here on out, this was an experiment. We're going to do our Zooms where we have interviews. We'll probably do them from the studio to where it'd be a little bit easier. This one was a experiment. So thanks so much for hanging with us. We had a great time. Next week, we're going to come up with some cool content. I think we're going to go to the zoo. We need to schedule that. We need to get that. We need to get the guys, the GoPros, all that stuff. I'm going to go slap a rhino. So we're going to get
hop the cage.
I'm going to hop the cage.
Jump the cage.
I'm going to jump the tiger cage. That's what I'm going to do.
I think you should fight a kangaroo. What do you think about that?
No, those kangaroos
will knock kangaroo?
Those things will knock you out. So thanks for joining us on episode 10. If I have a gold Mustang next week, that'll be in the parking lot on the show. So we'll bring that in too. So
make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. And, we're excited for it. Like Rob said, be thankful. Hopefully this will be the first and last Thanksgiving that, is in quarantine. Hopefully it's the first and last. But if you're you're healthy and all that stuff, that's the biggest piece of it. And then before you know it, we'll be out of it, and Rob will be at a country music festival with his tight jeans, outlines of his boots. Maybe instead of jeans, maybe you just do some like Daisy Dukes.
I don't know. The legs are a little furry. It might not be so nice there with the legs and the. I'm getting a little skinny too. I haven't been squatting as much. I don't have the leg strength like I used to. So for me, nothing like you just can't do it. I can't pull it off. I feel like you might be able to pull it off a little bit better. I don't know if you remember. Dodgeball, the true underdog story. There was a part in that movie where they had to raise money, so they did a car wash, and there was a man with a beard with very short shorts on, and he had a little cutoff shirt on, and he was saying, there was the guy, the kid was scrubbing the rims. He said, "Why don't you get in there nice and deep?" Feel like you could have maybe potentially been in that part, but that's just maybe for another day. So thanks so much. Have a great one. Dan and Ninko Show, we're out.